Intern.deploy. Take a look.
Yeah, so I know, thanks everyone for being so patient with a lot of presentations. I'll try to take as long as I can, but no, so real quick, basically, I just had this idea of what would happen if I described a bug, and then I let agents loose on our whole production repo set, and they just basically, they read all the code, and they figure out where they think the bugs are coming from, and then they just start pushing out a bunch of PRs to try and fix the bugs, like interns would if you're just onboarding a huge group of them. And so it was kind of I didn't really know how far it would get, and I learned a lot along the way. So I'd honestly love to just I could answer questions, I could show the code, but I mean, you guys have gotten a lot of that. It was a fun journey. I think somebody had mentioned trying to do the higher context window Llama. So I had gone down a rabbit hole for a few hours of the day trying to get Llama 128K context window with yarn, the yarn method for extending the context. It was basically like a systems hell trying to get that working. And then I started realizing that you can't just ingest massive files, because now you need to start bunching these up by functions and then repositories. You need to be caching things. So I could jump into the code here and kind of show high level, but honestly, I think the easiest thing to do is just I'll give 20 seconds of here's the top level flow, and I'll answer any questions people have. How far I got was I basically either have some debug flags of repos, or I'll scan our actual production repos. I don't want to run that right now because it would reveal all of Banana's IP. So, but it does work. And then what it does is I can just show the code right here too. Where is it? Here. Sorry, that's a different. Sorry, this is a different repo. Let me clear that. It's our God repo. Yeah, so this is why I don't do stuff in prod. Okay, let me just stay here and look at the code, because I don't want to. we have this admin repo that if I run it wrong, it'll nuke prod, so I don't want to do that. Basically, it'll scan all the Git repos, and then it'll pass in all of them to GPT-4, and it'll open a conversation, and it'll start having this discussion about hey, here's a bug description and a repository name. Can you help determine if it's likely that the bug would be in this? And so what we did was, most people, when they try to solve this problem, they actually scan the code first. And so I tried this, but then it leads to this explosive problem of there's tens of thousands of lines of code. If you scan the readmes of the repos first, they explain enough about what the code does that you can use that as an approximation, and readmes are typically short, so did that. I guess one final thing I'll say is, I didn't get to the generating pull request yet, but I realized that one of my friends, Kirtana, at a previous hackathon at AGI House, did SweetPT, which is the software. They basically generated pull requests, so I'm going to wire that in next. And then, yeah, basically, we have everything. That's all. Any questions? Intern deploy. Thank you.
Cool. Okay, give yourselves a huge round of applause.